Hey guys, welcome to Pol Ke Bol. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today we are going to talk about Manchester City, a club I absolutely hate. But the truth is, they are the best in the world right now. Just last night, they destroyed Real Madrid 4-0. And there's like a 5-1 aggregate in the Champions League semi-final. Now, a 5-1 aggregate is in general bad, but when you are Real Madrid, it's absolutely horrendous, right? Let's be very honest, Real Madrid were riding a lucky wave for a couple of years now, and Manchester City just caught them, and they caught them at the worst time possible, and they just absolutely destroyed them at the Etihad. Okay, so this video is completely about Manchester City and why they are the best club in the world. And as a Manchester United fan, it hurts me to accept the fact. Like, it is what it is. Acceptance is the first step towards progress, right? So if you're a United fan, if you're anyone who has anything to do with Manchester United, you have to accept that Manchester City is the best in the world right now. They have the best owners in the world, the Abu Dhabi group. They have the best manager in the world, which is Pep Guardiola. They have one of the best players in the world in Erling Haaland, and you could say arguably they have the best playmaker in the world, which is Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, it is absolutely insane how incredibly well balanced that entire club is. Not the team, not the squad, not the dressing room. The entire club is so well managed. In fact, they have one of the world's best CEOs also and sporting directors also. Okay, he's an ex Barcelona guy. It's absolutely insane. Okay, why does Manchester City keep winning? It's very simple. Okay, okay, financial fair play breaches have something to do with it. Let's be honest. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that is not one of the major reasons. City have overspent, City have outspent, and City have straight up like not followed financial fair play rules many a times. In fact, whenever they got fined by UEFA, they would straight up be like, we are gonna counter sue you. Okay, they have threatened suing UEFA. They have threatened to fight against the Premier League itself, the FA, which is the Football Association, saying that there were like what 123, 128 charges of financial misdemeanors or something against the club. That's English for breaking the rules, right? Like, they've just broken the rules when it comes to finances, and I don't really blame them, frankly. They haven't reached over here at this point of time where they are almost going to win the treble, okay, which is like the Premier League, the Champions League, and the FA Cup. They have reached this point with a lot of things, and you should also, let's not forget that UEFA and the FA have literally let anyone enter the Premier League, okay, buy up clubs, okay, and even like, Europe, basically any European club, any European league. They've just let all the money bags of the world just enter. It's a free for all. Just buy your club, pump in as much money as possible, and even UEFA and FIFA, like, look at them. Those guys just got prosecuted for corruption so bad. Okay, like, you have like Beckenbauer and Platini, legends of the game, engrossed in embroiled in scandals. When you have something like that, you question yourself, like, who can stop Manchester City? Definitely not UEFA. Definitely not FIFA. Okay, they have lost credibility themselves. They were this close to starting the Super League, and they're gonna go ahead with it. You know what? They're gonna go ahead with it. These governing bodies, they are very concerned about their bank accounts. That is what they are really concerned about. And when it comes to clubs like Manchester City, who know the game very well, they'll really know what to do, who to go, who to be nice to, who to threaten, and they covered the bases on a governance level, on an organizational level. Correct. So that is where that was the first step. They won over there. They got the club under themselves. They started splashing money. And here's the thing, right? Man City took a while to gear up. Okay, it's not what it is today. What it is today. It wasn't when it started off in 2007-8 or something. Okay. What really happened was, when they started out, they just started spending money. Like, they went ahead and just like spent money on Robinho. Okay, when Robinho was signing for Manchester City, he thought it was Manchester United he was signing it for, which says a lot about City of 2008, says a lot about Robinho also, and says a lot about United being the predominant club, not just in Manchester but in the world at that point of time, especially in England. Times have changed. Manchester United have not seen peace ever since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. It had to happen. But I remember when Sir Alex retired, he basically said, "Hey, we have a very good setup. The club is set up in such a way the next manager will have a relatively easy job in just managing the club and maintaining the culture of success that was, maintained and curated and maintained over decades." Obviously, that was all bullshit. It was all nonsense. We know that the Glazers are one of the worst owners in the world. And at that exact time, Man City got some of the best owners in the world. Now, you don't become the best owners in the world by just like splashing money and being dictatorial and authoritarian in your approach, okay? That is something which Roman Abramovich did. And I think it worked out for him quite well, honestly. But I think he was the only one who could pull off that basic, authoritarian model of club ownership. Okay, but even by the very end, when he had to forcibly sell off Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich did have a setup which was any day better than anything United even have right now. United still doesn't have a sporting director, just by the way. So I would say, if you look at a Man City, right, they have a CEO who knows what he's doing. They have the right owners. So the owners, they hired this ex-Barcelona guy, right? And then they asked him, okay, you set everything up. His name is Siki Bergestein. I'm pretty sure I've destroyed the pronunciation. He is currently the sporting director of Manchester City. Okay. Now, this is a guy who was hired all those years ago. He's an ex-Barcelona man. He was the one who wanted to take Barcelona in the right direction. I think it worked out for Barcelona anyway, but that was only because they had the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi, with them, right? But City over the last 10 years have been way more consistent, than Barcelona has been in terms of performances and everything. In fact, Manchester City coming back, like, the right owners, the right management at the top of it. I'm talking about the corporate structure, right? Like the director, the CEO, and stuff like that. Absolutely down pat, perfect. Below them, they have gone for the right manager at the right time. Okay, if anyone remembers, they went for Roberto Mancini, and that's when they won the 2012 Premier League, right? They did really well with Mancini, frankly. Once they realized, okay, this is not working out, they went for a few more. They even had Mark Hughes for some time. So earlier they couldn't attract the right managers, but slowly and steadily they started, as the football project started rumbling forward, right? They started going for the good managers. Okay, they went they went for like Pep Guardiola in 2016 when he was at Bayern Munich. Okay, I think Guardiola was like, you know what, this is done. And everyone was like, dude, Guardiola is going to flop in the Premier League because he's not going to play the beautiful football that he played at Barcelona in the La Liga, because he had some of the greatest players of all time over there. They were all from La Masia. They knew that system. Guardiola himself is, from Barcelona. So it was all there for him. He's a systems guy. Guess what? All nonsense. The man, when he joined Manchester City, he's completely transformed the way Manchester City plays football. Okay, he has influenced the way the English Premier League clubs play football in some way, but it's definitely influenced it. But Manchester City 8 years ago, Manchester City today are completely different. Okay, see, they just got the best manager in the world. Okay, and they gave him a free hand. You do what you want to do. Okay, we are there for you, and that's absolutely insane in my eyes. Okay, they have been very patient with Guardiola. If anyone remembers, they almost didn't make the top four in the first season. Okay, they came in fourth or something. In the first season, Pep Guardiola with Manchester City came in fourth. Okay, in fact, in the last 2-3 games is when they managed to, stave off like the fifth place club, but they didn't start off well. They didn't start off well. So that is the patience that Manchester City has. They know they have a philosophy. Their corporate structure is also built in such a way that you're part of the city, sporting group. So if someone wants to, they have clubs in. They have clubs in New York, they have clubs in Mumbai, they have clubs in many other parts of the world. Okay, of course, they have clubs in Abu Dhabi. Correct. So the City Football Group, or the City Sporting Group, whatever that is, that overarching entity that they have, they keep putting their youth players over there to play out over there, and they keep rehiring the old, players who played over there, and they are the ones who manage. Like Patrick Vieira, I think he played one season for Manchester City. That guy became like the manager for the New York, for the New York owned club by the City Football Group. Okay, so they have it so well. They just know the way a modern football club is run, more than anything else, more than the success of the team that is there on the pitch. Okay, which I'll come to after, like I've spoken about everything else. I'll come to the team, but the team is just a part of it. Is what Manchester City has shown. What they have shown is a modern football club is no longer about the 11 men who go out on the field. That is just the end product that you see. There's so much more that goes behind the scenes that determines what happens on the field. The off field is way more important than the on field at times. Okay? Think about it. Just think about it. All the philosophy, all the transfers in the world that they'll make, it will work out for nothing if there is no coherent thought process and a proper, structure and a proper strategy, a long-term, short-term and long-term strategy, which comes right from the top. So they have great leadership, which emanates from an ownership that really knows what it wants and is doing what it needs to. Okay? And then it flows down. Okay? Then you come to the transfer strategy. They have splashed money, no doubt about it. Okay? Manchester City has splashed money. Come on, let's be very honest. Okay? But if you look at the recent signings, right? They have been they have paid the perfect amount for the perfect player. If you just look about players like Ruben Diaz, even Haaland, they got Haaland for 50-60 million dollars. They just went out there. Okay, they went $65 million. I think his release clause was with Dortmund, and they just straight up were like, yeah, we are going for this guy. We are getting him. If it was United or Liverpool or any other club, this would have just turned into like a 110%. This would have turned into a bidding war. Okay, where nobody wins except for the player, the age, not even the player, because now the pressure is so high on the player to succeed. Okay, the player loses, the club which is buying them at an inflated rate is losing. Okay, the club which is selling is the one which is winning, and the agent is winning. That's it, because the agent is getting a cut. The larger the pie, the larger their cut. Okay, so the player and the club which is buying though has completely lost the moment there's a bidding war. Ask Manchester United. They always get into these stupid bidding wars for all the wrong players and keep suffering all the time. Okay, like the way United is run is so pathetic. I'm sorry, I just can't stop talking about United whenever I talk about Man City, right? Because Man City are everything United should have been. Okay, it's incredible how bad we are. It's incredible, but also not surprising. Like considering, like there are parts of Old Trafford that are leaking. Okay, I mean, it's that bad. There are railway stations in Mumbai that like that. Imagine the best club in the world, like so-called biggest club in the world. Okay, that club cannot have a stadium, which doesn't have leakages and broken seats and stuff like that. Okay, so I mean that's what City are against, and that is why City are winning. They're winning against everyone because they have adopted an innovative model of running a football club, which will become run of the mill 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, sorry. It will become absolutely run of the mill. Everyone will run a football club like City is running it, okay? Innovation after a point of time becomes like regular stuff. But they got there first. They got there 10 years before everyone else. They stuck to their guns. They have been, going after players like way beforehand. They do all the silent work behind the scenes. They're like, we'll go and talk to the agent, we'll talk to the father, we'll talk to the family, we'll talk to the coaches, we'll talk to the press, and we'll ensure that the news doesn't go out of them doing all these things. The moment United even look at someone, the press is like, United, this player is coming to United for $700 million. It's pathetic. It's absolutely insane. United anyway is at this point an ad agency. It's nothing else. Under the Glazers, United have ceased to become a serious football club. We just haven't been a serious football club for the last 10 years. We just haven't. Okay. And, but the worst part is, as a United fan, watching City do everything United should be doing. Okay. Theoretically speaking, attracting someone to Manchester United should not be a problem. But we have put ourselves in this hole, which is benefiting a Manchester City. I'm pretty sure if you ask Cristiano Ronaldo now that, if 2 years ago, if you had the choice of joining City or United, you went to United, do you regret it? Should you have gone to City? Right now, Cristiano Ronaldo would say, yes, definitely. Definitely. City would have won the Champions League with Cristiano. That's just true. Ronaldo knows it. City knows it. Now they realized the mistake. They needed like a proper striker at the front. They went and they got Haaland. They always had the plan anyway. They just went ahead and did it. That's the way they do it. And it's insane how most of their signings just start working. Like the day they are signed, they start working. They take some time, a month or two, but they rarely flop. Who was the last Manchester City signing that like flopped on the big stage? Liverpool has signings that keep flopping. Okay, United though is known as the flop factory at this point. Of whoever we sign, whatever we touch turns to shit. Okay, except for probably Bruno Fernandes and somewhat Anthony, I would say everyone else who we have signed has been purely garbage. Okay, Casemiro a little bit like, but still inconsistent. Okay, same with Sabitzer. Weghorst is dog shit. Okay, he's not United level. He's a Burnley level guy. Thank you for like all the hard work that you do, Weghorst, but I'm sorry, you're not a United level player. But watch as Wout Weghorst stays at United, because that's where the level is of United. We can't sell, we can't buy. It's just what it is. But if you look at Manchester City, they know exactly when to sell a player. They know exactly when to buy them. I just, and the worst part, the academy is now producing good talent. Like, look at Phil Foden. Like, how the hell do they get a Foden? Like, Foden is one of the best youngsters in the world at this point. We had Greenwood, who I believe was better than him. They were roommates. They did scandals together, I believe, in Scandinavia. Of course, but Greenwood wouldn't stop with his behavior. And today, Phil Foden is the number one young player in Manchester, which is sad. We do have Garnacho. He's coming up. But Garnacho is not a pure youth academy product. He's not. He's someone who we got from Atletico Madrid. Yeah. And from a pure play, okay, this is a youth product perspective. That was Greenwood. We had Greenwood. They had Foden. Somehow they are producing some good people, and the next Foden might be like a defender, okay, who will captain the club or something of that sort. Okay. Like a John Terry for Man City. Now, what are we going to do then? Then you can't call them an oil club after a point of time. That's what I'm saying. They are a club which is in 2035. United are still in 2015. Okay. United in 2005, firstly. Not even 2015. I'm giving ourselves too much credit. And it shows on the pitch also. And I just hope in the FA Cup final with Manchester City, United against Manchester City, United show up and stop them from winning the treble. This is where we have reached. And it's poetic, if you think about it. The only English club to win the treble has been Manchester United, and we won it in style. But if you look at this City team, they are going to win the treble if United don't turn up in June in the FA Cup final. At least God has given Manchester United this opportunity that you can determine if City win the treble or not. Will we take it? Remains to be seen. But Manchester City are a juggernaut that won't be stopped anytime soon. This has been Polke Bowl. Thank you so much, folks. Take care.